Access granted.
Duke, I am so sorry that I'm late.
Imogene, please have a seat.
Goodness me, I can feel the sweat on my back from swimming upstream to get here. Outside the camp, the protesters are still clogging up the quads with "Down with the Companion." They're watching it take a whiz. I nearly lost half my wits.
Well, even if you lost half your wits, it's still a worthy cause, especially after the Division of Charity almost popped Thornton's clogs last month in the G room.
Yes, it is, but that doesn't excuse people throwing bricks all over the place into people's windows.
After what we've done? After what the Companion did? Looking at people while they sleep, watching people cry, and then laugh at them while we sat here in our high castle? That doesn't excuse it.
We were never part of that, Duke. We were the low ones who couldn't do anything but teach phys ed, and we too are under their thumb and watched like rats in a cage. Only we have something that the citizens don't: immunity. And it's time we used it for something good, but not by becoming monsters ourselves.
That won't happen. Even if the upper ones skived away with just a slap on the wrist, they will be but pennies in a bag of pounds compared to what they've done.
An eye for an eye makes the world blind.
Access granted.
Hi. So you have an empty spot? Would it be a burden if I sat down?
No, please come join the party.
I do appreciate it. So, man and friend, who might you be?
Duke.
And friend?
Imogene.
Nice meeting the both of yous. My name is Cillian. Did I interrupt something? You two seemed mid-thought.
No, we were just talking about the protests.
Did I miss something saucy?
It was justice served, all right. The people have finally seen the light and decided it's time for Down with the Companion. It's time we stopped hurting people. It's time we stopped saying that the Companion is the future of England, as if it's all true.
Well, it is. It's not like it's their fault. It's those whores and freedom fighters who are bitching and moaning and trying to turn our once perfect society into some sort of zoo.
Blimey, I didn't know I was speaking to such a gobby and pugnacious numbskull.
Okay, wait a minute.
No, I'm not going to argue with you.
Why? Afraid you're going to lose?
Please, let's not all get worked up.
Okay, sod off.
All right, you pillock. You want a gob, that's fine. But don't you dare talk to her like that. If you can't help being a little twat for 5 minutes, take it out on me. But I will not proceed unless you apologize to her at once.
Duke, don't. Stop it.
Yes, Duke, it's not worth it. The odds aren't in your favor, so feel free to run along now before you get schooled on how politics work.
Who do you think you are to talk to him like that and go blowing smoke up your own ass? He's trying to rebuild the books on politics so people have a say in the matter. You're probably one of those slags who threw the books into the furnace while shagging a poster of the Companion.
Chief architect of the Companion is who I think I am, and all I've learned from my father.
As the actress said to the bishop.
Would you say, love?
Oh, did I stutter? Funny, because I thought I overcame that years ago. Or have you just lost the plot, love?
No, you don't recall, huh?
Nope.
Well, maybe a swing at the old melon will refresh your memory.
All right, calm your bollocks.
Someone's throwing a wobbly here.
It's funny, you know? I can just hear the Companion in your voice when you say that. I can just hear your tiny little brainwashed mind thinking you're so powerful when you speak. You must think you're tough, like Pocahontas on your little high horse there.
Pocahontas was a myth. Since it got leaked to the public, there's been all this nonsense about some made-up savage. I guess the Companion can't make an honest mistake without repercussions.
I guess not. In this day and age, someone needs to be perfect if they want ultimate influence over people.
No, they don't.
Nobody's saying he can't make a mistake, because he's far beyond that. But I'm sure that him saying Pocahontas is a myth is less of a mistake and more just stupidity.
I'll tell you what wasn't a mistake. Us going to the lands and conquering stupidity in real life savages. So they became civilized, learned dominance, learned how to adapt. But now those dainty protesters, they hear something they don't want to hear, and they all start crying and playing with the little dicks because they can't handle it.
And people like you don't cry and play with your dicks. And when did it become acceptable to dominate anyone? Huh? I can answer that for you. It didn't. It's just years and years of oppression until it was threatened on people. But it's more of just an excuse, really, for the big man to assure themselves with something called privilege.
We three adapted and earned our privilege. And it's not even as if privilege is a thing. It's just some facade the lower class invented when things didn't go their way, and for those who seek to sully the prosperous name of a great land.
Well, pardon me, but if you think torturing and pillaging other people's homes in the middle of the night is something to be all proud of, then I think you have lost the plot.
On the contrary, if you consider all this destruction to be the solution, we really are doomed to kingdom come. The companion was the answer. Bloody hell, you two used to believe in all of this. You must have seen something positive. What about the war going on? Shouldn't we have someone to protect us? We will rebuild a society of screens and microphones, and we won't be bent over backwards and sodomized like Thornton did when things started to turn sour. Sodomized like Pocahontas.
God in heaven.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Come on, it was a joke.
The companion doesn't make jokes. Maybe for a while the upper haven't been bent over backwards, but they sure did their fair share of bending people over backwards themselves. But often, when the iron fist is erected, it will eventually fall on those who created it. When it does, you never hear them say, "I'm sorry," because they don't have to. And why is that? It's because of this facade that people like you have perpetuated. If privilege is just a myth, where are your scars? Me dad couldn't hug me or my siblings without getting his head crushed like a head of cabbage.
Well, if you hate it so much, why were you a part of it?
To survive, you idiot. I hated every minute of it.
To survive. That makes you a slave as well. So why don't you just leave this land you're so sick of and let sleeping dogs lie?
Forget it, Gene. I've got nothing for that.
You don't have to convince him of anything. He's another lost cause. He's never had to suffer what we have. Look, just because you can't convince everyone does not mean it's not important. It's a heavy cross to bear, but it'll be worth it, Duke. Trust me.
Oh, look who's back. Did you pull the white flag?
No.
So you want to keep fighting?
As a matter of fact, I do. But not here. I could use a little bit of fresh air. So I'm going to join them out in the quad. But feel free to stay here. It may never be perfect, and it never has been. But I'm going to die trying to get it as close as it can. So I wish you good luck. And I thank you for giving me a reason to fight.